Building in Planet Zoo can be super overwhelming. So many pieces, but what if you only use 3 pieces to make an entire habitat? We do exactly this today, so give a warm welcome to our protagonists, the Cabbage Tree 01, the Oceanian Woven Bark Wall Panel 1 by 1 meters, and also the Oceanian Decorative Boy 01. These will be the protagonists for today's video. And with that, welcome to the time-lapse, and I do hope that you will stick with me throughout the entire voiceover, because I'm gonna tell you a couple of interesting things during this build. I figured there are a couple of things I learned that you actually might want to know as well, because, well, not only that I did a tutorial 3.5 hours for you, in case you haven't seen that mega tutorial I did, very big recommendation to watch that one. Also lovely feedback you guys gave me on this one, so yeah, you can check this out. But also, building with only 3 pieces always reminds me of the fact that sometimes it's actually very worth just sitting down and rotating a piece around. It might sound weird, okay? But at first you will notice that this will spark your inspiration quite a bit, because you will start to look at pieces from different angles. And that is very valuable, because you will find different textures, you will find different elements of a piece that you can utilize. And at the same time, nature also is a thing that turned out to be interesting during this build. That was already the most challenging part of the first 3-piece habitat I did, which is the one of the Bengal tiger. If you haven't seen that one, yet again, another recommendation from my side. You can watch that too. As you can see in the background, there is already a habitat I did. And I did this as well with only 3 pieces from the base game. And yeah, that is pretty interesting indeed how this all turned out. Now, as always, it is very important to lay out a habitat for you first of all, and you can see this is the layout I went with. I wanted to have like a bridge that actually features the main building, which is kind of where the shelter sits. And I wanted to have the animals then go into their habitat via this little tunnel beneath that bridge, so that people have a bit of a raised platform to look at the animals, and then they also have some other viewing options from around the habitat. I also gave them a bit of a sunken area to make sure they have a bit more privacy and they don't face the people right away. But also I have a higher platform that gives a bit of eye level contact with the animal. Just like, these are normal things and not necessarily anything to do with the 3-piece element here. But now, as you can see, there's only this 1 piece I can use. By the way, I have to say though, this very plant piece over here was a very thankful piece to work with, because it is absolutely amazing. One of my most favorite pieces we've ever gotten with a DLC. This tree, this palm tree thingy is absolutely bonkers. It just has so many elements to it. It's super detailed. I love the fact that it not only has this very cool kind of way how the green leaves are very realistically made and also in a very nice tone of green, and then it also has a very nicely detailed trunk in the middle, which not all of the pieces have in the game. So very thankful to play with this. And it's also relatively sizable. It's not too big, but it's still big enough to get some bushy vibes going on without making it like a bajillion pieces to be used. And then we also have the boy piece over here, which is the smallest of the bit and of the bunch. So this is the one that obviously was meant to be for the fences and stuff. So like a rather simple design. And I have to admit, of course, I will go with only the flexi-collar pieces. However, who knows where this whole thing is going to go into the future, if this challenge is going to be expanded. Who knows if one day I will need to make one with non-flexi-collar pieces, but that's gonna be the most difficult thing to do. I think you could even then enlarge it to like 6 pieces and will still be absolutely heavy lifting, to say the least, because like flexi-collar is potentially one of the strongest things in this game. Playing with different colors of the same piece can make it a totally different piece. You can do shadows, you can do, as you can see over here, I used the boy piece to make both like bigger boulders and also little cobble like pieces to make sure that the habitat looks a lot better, as if there were some rocks involved, because, you know, the 3-piece challenge also involves not using any rocks, which to my personal liking is a crime, but that's the challenge. Maybe in the future we could also add maybe one rock piece or so. There's a lot of things you could do with this challenge. So if you guys have ideas for a different type of challenge that goes in the same way, maybe like an only rock challenge or whatever, only one piece from each category challenge or whatnot. If you have a creative idea you could come up with, let me know. But now, before we go into this main building, which I think turned out very beautifully, I like it a lot. And I also must say that this wall piece is a piece that I have actually overlooked a little bit in the past, and I will definitely use it more often because the texture of this thing is absolutely great, and the shading and the different colors you can use it with. It actually comes with 4 different color options for this piece, so that is pretty damn good. Now, what I wanted to say, and this is potentially one of the biggest strengths of this challenge, you need to plan your things a little bit stronger than you usually need to, and for me that was one of the best things to learn again, or to not really learn, but be reminded of. When you only have these 3 pieces, you have to think ahead. What do you need as elements, and what do you need for making the habitat look believable and detailed? So I had a certain category in my head and different steps I wanted to follow. So my first step to follow was to find something bigger that can actually frame the habitat and give the habitat perspective. I knew that I wanted to have something bigger to look at, that gives the people a spot to look at first, and also to frame the habitat in a way that it has a different balance. The sideline has a balance. This is where I came up with these huge kind of rounded planter thingies. That have a good texture also, and you didn't need some mulch or soil. It just looked good the way it is. And from there, I continued going on. I was like, okay, now I need a fence. I need a second fence type. I need maybe a pole to put something on top of the pole. And then I knew, okay, I might need some nature things because we have like an animal that has a bit of a more open space, like a Bengal tiger or so is a bit more thankful and forgiving because you can use a lot more nature and hide a lot of areas with some nature pieces, while this animal requires a bit more of an open space. And to not have this just like a bare texture, I needed some more interesting elements, and so I knew I need to do some rocks and pebbles and stuff like that. So by thinking ahead, I knew exactly what I was going to, and this made me think more about how I need to abuse the pieces, and this also helped me to find the right arrangement of them. And so, yeah, speaking about the roof, that was always very obvious what I needed to go for. Like, I didn't want to use the simple wall piece and put them horizontal as in a roof or like slightly angled. That would have been too easy. It surely would have worked, but I wanted to have something more interesting to look at, and so I created this, I think, very nice looking roof. Honestly, it's one of the nicest looking roofs I made with this piece. Like using these as individual shingles was very rewarding at this point, I must say. And so, yeah, with the time you can see putting these things in, the whole picture comes together. And obviously it's a bit of a nasty work to always sink them into the ground and stuff like that, but it just really is worth it. And then, as I said, it always helps by just recoloring things. And you can see I used the pole I initially made as like a fake little branch and just sunk them into the ground to make it look like as if there were some wooden pieces lying around. So you can really tell that this building this way enables you almost like a concept art of a habitat. It's kind of crazy because technically I'm just doing things with pieces that are not meant to be used in this way to mimic something that is actually available in the game. And I find this very interesting because this shows how far we've come, and it also helps you figure out what pieces we actually don't have in the game. That is even more interesting than the ones we have, because when you do all these fake things, you stop limiting yourself, and this is one of the more interesting facts I have never thought about before. As we have so many pieces in this game, you tend to use them, which is obvious. Pieces in the game available, so you use them. But this also, because we have so many pieces, you don't need to think about what we don't have. But this is interesting. It's interesting to think about what we don't have in the game. And with limiting yourself to 3 pieces only, it is obvious that you're lacking, well, 99.9% of the things you would need. And while building, you're figuring out, hey, you know what? We don't have a canopy like that in the game at all. We have like a lot of these awnings, but we don't have a nice canopy like this in a different flexi-color. We only have these as thatch roofs, but nothing else, you know? These kind of canopies we always need to make ourselves. So bam, there you got an idea. The same goes about different structured poles, where we have like a lot of poles in this game, but we don't really have them in different kind of styles when it comes to either round, they are either round or rectangular, but nothing else, you know? So that was interesting. And this way, you're thinking about things that could be interesting for the usage in this game. And so we will get closer, like specifically these little pebble pieces. The same way I would do them would be with the eggs. Like the eggs in the game are very nice to make some actually good looking pebbles. But it's not really that much of a difference if you use them or not. It's very much abusing pieces, and we would actually need some very good low poly but good looking pebble pieces in the game. The rocks we have with the full rock set, they're way too big still. They are not, that's not pebbles, that's actually rocks, you know, that's boulders. Smaller boulders, but not pebbles. And this is something we really would need, some really, or like a gravel patch or something like this. We don't have that. So very interesting to think about these things, because even though you would think 3 pieces do limit you, they actually don't. They spark your imagination even more than the game normally does. So that's something I learned and I found very interesting. But yeah, that's almost it with the voiceover. I hope you found this interesting today, talking a bit about the philosophy behind building with the 3 pieces. And now it's time to look at the finished result in-game. So enjoy. Right, you're looking at a tree, and you're looking at the finished habitat. Right in front of us, there's a little quokka just jumping into the habitat. And I totally did not mess up the whole thing with wombat before. And I totally didn't measure this habitat for a wombat. I have no idea what was going on with my brain here. Anyhow, for those of you who are little skippers and you just made it to the real-time part, I see you guys, you know, sitting in front of your computer or your TV or your phone and now feeling attacked because I knew that you were skipping to this point. Hear me out, okay? If you want to help me out with this challenge, you can drop down into the comments what pack I should go on with next time. So we've done the Bengal Tiger and the base game items. We have now done the OCEANIA Pack DLC with the Quokka. And we also will do many more of these because the Wonderful Instant Gaming is our partner on the channel and hence the partner for those wonderful videos over here. So with every of these videos, I will remind you to grab the DLC we have just focused on today, and this is the Oceania one, that you can grab for just under €5, at least at the moment of doing this video it is. So you can grab it with a discount. The link as always is in the description, and I'm gonna pin also a comment so you guys can directly jump to the Oceania pack, but of course you can also grab all the other packs too if you fancy doing so. But enough of advertisement, you want to see the habitat, don't you? Now, there's really not that much to say. And also, if you want to give me more challenges, there's a little rule. I already talked about that in the real-time part, but as you guys skipped over here, that I just know, I can tell that you don't know the rules. And so here are the rules again. They're pretty simple. You have to give me 3 pieces, and these 3 pieces are always 1 foliage item. Then there is definitely going to be 1 decorative item, like we have over here. And basically, they are also standing right over here, and 1 wall piece, just to give you the idea. This is the setup we're always starting this challenge on, and then I'm going to try my best on doing a habitat designed with only these 3 pieces, and promise they are legit only the 3 pieces involved in this build. I mean, okay, with some enrichment items and a barrier piece added over here, but other than that, it is literally just those 3 pieces used in this habitat over here. I'm quite happy with it. I think, and this is the moment where we're gonna fly up here, I think it is actually better than the first one, and that's quite something because I do like the first one quite a lot. I think there were a lot of things I did quite nicely in there, even though I have to say I'm still not the biggest fan of these like kind of ruined pieces that are not really ruined pieces, but you know, I can deal with this. But then looking at this one, it looks much more detailed, much more as if I would really have a habitat like that. And also, you know, this is like an implied roof where you can have a look inside of the little shelter. But, you know, granted, there would need to be a glass piece, but, you know, I don't have one, so we can't do this. I'm not allowed to, so this is that. But yeah, if you want to give me the challenge, you just have to type in these pieces down below in the comments, give them the name of the pieces, and then I will have a check up. Look at the little cutie one over here. Gosh, I love them. Look at the fur and everything. They are so cute. They look like a kangaroo paired with a mouse and a quokka, and then this is and a wombat, and this is what comes out of it. Jeez, I love them. They are so cute. Look at these little paws, and you're looking so cute. I want one at home. Ah, look at that, so cute. But I've got a little toddler at home. That's enough maintenance for now. Maintenance work, I should say. Look at you. You're so cute. You're so cute. Can you get up here? Oh, you can. That's so fancy. But I think you have kind of wrong enrichment items, but whatever. Look at that. I'm quite happy that they can actually access most of the areas in here. So that is the habitat. Let's zoom out and end this episode on a positive note. I am enjoying myself on this channel so much lately, and I do hope that you guys got carried away by the positive vibes lately. If not, I have to do even better than that, and I will. This is just a little reminder that in the next coming weeks, there are so many cool things I've planned, not only with Planet Zoo, but also with other games. But, and this is very important, hear me out, okay? I'm trying my best this year to focus on the quality and not quantity. So it may actually take a little longer than you are used to from last year. That also means if you want to see my content, there is so much content on my channel, and I guarantee you there is so much you haven't seen from the past. So give them all a try if you haven't already. I made movie series, you know, I built so many movie habitats, you can binge watch all of them. I made a hell lot of tutorials. I had a great Planet Coaster series called Isla Napali. For most of the people who are watching my videos nowadays, they don't know about these old series, and I can just warmly you know, give you the hint to at least check it out, because there's so much community involved in there, so much good memories of what we've done, so much interesting stories behind why we did Isla Napali and the whole lore about this, about the build and this island turned into a theme park, and just like there are so many series on this channel you can binge watch, and just give me a hint over there in the comments that you did watch them. So this is what you can do in the meantime. But there will go so much cool stuff in the next coming weeks. I just give you some hints. It's gonna be something to do with Yosemite, something to do with movie habitats. There's something completely different, playing around with the capabilities of Planet Zoo in completely different ways. There's going to be some prehistoric kingdom stuff. There's some Jurassic World Evolution stuff. There's so much good stuff I've been cooking around with. I love that. So yeah, this is our 3-piece arrangement, and it's going to be filled with some more in the future, as I said. So you can expect some more of these with the different packs we have. And if we've done the packs, who knows, maybe we're going to take ourselves some of the animal pack animals and try to build one for those with the base game items. So far, so good. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I certainly did enjoy it, and if you're not convinced yet, make sure to check some other videos on the channel, and then you may actually be convinced. And if you are convinced, please hit subscribe on the channel. That also helps me out a lot, because you tell this wonderful platform over here you like the stuff you've just seen. And frankly, they are unsubbing people for no reason. So if you already have been subbed and you see that you're not subbed anymore, please just resub to the channel. That would be lovely. And make a camel happy, okay? More happy than this person over here. What's your problem? There's nothing to do. Yeah, okay, you're tired and bored and whatever. Okay, hope you don't feel like this woman over here. Anyhow, I should come to an end. Sorry, as I said, I'm just enjoying this so much right now. Have a wonderful, lovely day, guys. Make sure to look positive into whatever you're doing today. It's gonna be a good day, trust me. And if not, watch another Planet Zoo video. But that's that, just simple as that. Or click some Legos together. That should be also pretty therapeutic as well. Anyways, have a good time. Thank you so much for your support as always. Have a lovely time, and goodbye.